Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the VIPHS first ever graduating class, the class of 2019, I am overjoyed to welcome each of you to our celebratory ceremony. This evening, our graduation is a tribute to each and every person in this room who taught, supported, and guided us throughout our academic studies from 9th through 12th grade. To those who not only celebrated our wins with us and made the losses less painful, but also at times taught us valuable lessons through some tough love. Tonight, we are moving on and will joyfully begin writing the next chapters of our lives as young adults, and we are very grateful to have each of you here to see us off. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the graduation ceremony of Valley International Preparatory's class of 2019. And congratulations to each of you. Now, please join me in welcoming to the stage our school's founding executive director, Ann Cochran.
Good evening, VIP family. I wish I could see your faces, but I can't see a thing up here. As you know, tonight we are gathered here to witness and celebrate the graduation of our inaugural senior class's members, the VIP class of 2019. You will hear and learn so many wonderful things about them tonight, so I'm leaving that part of things to others who follow me. Upon completion of our little school's rebirth, my self-assigned role at its first graduation ceremony is to make certain outstanding folks are recognized and thanked for helping us make it all the way through the school year to this highly anticipated moment. So I have to say to you, in years to come, I fully intend for this traditional address to be shortened by about 75%. So I apologize to you for the additional 12 minutes or so that I'm about to take here at the start of the program. But, after everything all of us have gone through together this year in opening VIP, I don't truly see how I can give it short shrift as we look back. First of all, thank you. Thank you so much, class of 19 parents and guardians. Would you please rise so we can enthusiastically recognize you? All parents, guardians, please stand. So parents, this is for you. All of the changes we've weathered this year, particularly the major move from one part of the valley to another far less convenient location, was a grim reality that you handled. You signed up for an adventure with a questionable future at the time, but you placed your trust in us and you accompanied us on our journey. So we thank you so very much for being patient and expansive thinkers and for standing in unison behind our college mission and vision. And speaking of parents, there's one special mom in the audience we need to collectively offer so much gratitude. Lisa Bove, wherever you are. Would you please stand so everyone can see you? And thank you. So Lisa has tirelessly served us this year as the brave president of our first Friends of Parents in Partnership group. Lisa and her wife, Renna Killen, are proud parents of two of our alums, have been constant volunteers and have stood with us every single day since the school opened as VIP South on Friar Street in Van Nuys. So Lisa and Renna, thank you for everything you've done for us and for your loyalty and constant support. Obviously, our school's board of directors, led by President Allison Martin and including Andrea Sladd, Vanessa McAdam, Robert Burke, and Greg Lannon, have been vital to our very existence, and I'm grateful for this kind board's time, guidance, and friendship. Thank you. And one of us who has closely worked with the board, I have to mention the superlative work of Bob Moore. Bob, wherever you are, will you please stand so we can say thank you to you? Bob, are you out there? There he is. Bob is one of our former parents as well as an experienced attorney who has toiled in the education realm at various points of his career, nowadays works on staff with us, and absolutely held me up through my first year as a charter high school executive director, and he never let me fall. VIP teachers and staff, you've worked so hard within the parameters of once again being a new school, and without each of you, we'd be in sad shape. Each of you is simply the best. Would you please rise so everyone can express their gratitude to you? That's you guys too. Up. But there is one final person's service that absolutely must be highlighted and celebrated. And I'm going to take some significant time here to do it, as I'm certain we wouldn't be here today without this person's hard work and leadership. You know, I was the founding principal of this school's first and second iterations in the forms of VIP South and I Lead North Hollywood. During those 4 years as a novice school leader, I learned that the high school principal's job is deceptively difficult, maddening, thankless, and I came to learn that to be a really great one requires a specific temperament and qualifications that didn't always translate to a skill set that described me. But I always knew and acknowledged that truth from the get-go. And back when Brad Kopenick and I interviewed and hired our first teachers for the Friar Street campus, Michael Horn came to us as a young yet impressively seasoned Teach for America alumnus, having recently taught high schoolers within some hair-raising school situations in New York City. He'd moved to LA earlier in the school year as a new social studies teacher at Champs Charter High School. At the same time, Brad and I were transitioning out of the school in order to open VIP South. When Michael Horn arrived, sat down, and spoke with Brad and me, we looked at each other, we gave each other a knowing and relieved sort of a look, as this fellow knew a whole lot about curriculum and instruction, and after his exit, we happily exclaimed to each other, "Wow, there goes our future principal." In our second year, our oversight body changed, and then our name changed to I Lead North Hollywood, and we quickly promoted Mr. Horn to the assistant principal position. We sorely needed him. He served as such for 3 weird and harrowing years as a true professional. Our kids understandably think Mr. Horn's duties as our principal consist of A, acting as a human school bell and chasing late kids to class, and B, constantly barking about frighteningly low attendance rates. And yes, folks, it is indeed the reality of receiving the district's and state's authorization and funding. So because so much of what he does is a mystery to others, I sat down last night to jot down a list of so many tasks Michael Horn has selflessly completed in his first full year as a high school principal. And as I reviewed and wrote, the minutes turned into hours, and at 1:20 this morning, I realized that as much as he deserves it, it isn't realistic for me to actually read you all of those projects and tasks he's faced and handled, as this graduation ceremony would unintentionally morph into the Michael Horn Appreciation Hour. So I'm on my last page, I promise. But it must be mentioned that he unselfishly added to his plate a nearly full teaching load of world history coursework on one dark day when it was sadly necessary for us to cut positions because of disappointing initial enrollment numbers. There are additional fires that occupied the rest of Mr. Michael Horn's work days and nights, and he put out those flames, one that no ordinary person can face, with passion, humor, talent, and brains, with minimal thanks from others, as much of it isn't fully known and appreciated by anyone other than very few of us. Besides carrying out daily sorts of expected small school principal duties with efficiency and positiveness, including taking in stride near daily parental teeth gnashing over God only knows what large and small issues. And yes, it's what every principal must do. And keeping daily comings and goings in check of teachers as employees. And he plays the piano for us too. Here's a collection, just a short collection of some of the written reportage he completed for our betterment and our survival. Difficult and esoteric writing that required the utmost focus and understanding of it, to say the least. And each one of them spells life or death for a new school. Our school's first ever, Our school's first ever and very successful recent LAUSD site visit report, replete with endless pages of education ease-laden narrative discourse, testing stats, charts, and graphs. Our successful WASC accreditation document with a size and scope that is enough to send any normal person running for the hills in a full-on panic. Our all-important, perhaps unknown to you, local control and accountability plan, the LCAP, document that is submitted each year to the state of California, the weekly VIP voice, and most importantly, he was the chief writer and architect of the complicated yet successful fall 2017 charter that landed us as a nowadays rare independent charter high school within the family of LAUSD. To be blunt, without that successful district bid, each of you here tonight would be experiencing a graduation from some other local school. We wouldn't be celebrating together at this moment. So surely there must be something wrong with Michael Horn. Well, I can tell you he hits my office refrigerator like a teenager and drinks all of my new sparkling waters, and then he runs out and slams doors that rock the bungalows. But he's busy. And I'll tell you what, providing Mr. Horn with water while he makes the windows rattle, well, I mean, it's the least I can do, yes? It's a bargain price to pay for the support of an ideal administrative partner, friend, and consummate educator. You know I can wax poetic all day long about the importance of college choice. But Michael Horn actually legitimizes VIP as an educational institution. Everyone, before we move on to joyfully celebrate our deserving young folks in the class of 19, would you please join me in giving it up for Mr. Michael Horn? Yeah. You don't have to open it now. Don't open it now. Okay. There you go. Okay. Okay, and now, thank you for letting me speak for the longest time. I am thrilled to welcome to the stage one of our 2019 graduates, someone I love a whole lot, Ms. Brianna DeArmas, who will attend. Brianna will attend Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, Arizona this fall. Ms. Brianna.
Okay, my voice might stutter a lot because I don't speak in front of 400 people at a time most of the time. But good evening, friends, families, faculties, staff, and most importantly, graduates of the class of 2019. I am Brianna DeArmas, and I'd like to congratulate each of you, and it is my privilege to address you at this time. To the families of the graduates, it was your push, support, and knowledge that are setting this class up for great things. I understand you must be very proud as your graduates close this first chapter of their lives and open the doors to the next. Graduates, I've dreamt about this day for 4 years now. I've yearned for this opportunity to stand in front of you and talk about how during my first time walking into our old campus, I saw a 5'4" redheaded kid from my 8th grade class sitting on the floor of Miss Teichman's classroom while he was remembering me. He is here today a whole 8 inches taller, and he grew more in persona than anything else. Or how the only reason I became friends with one of you is because we were humorously cringing at each other from across the room in Silverstein's class. How a friendship turned into a heartbreak, but then ended up in a stronger friendship. Or how 4 girls became best friends by sitting together in AP Lang and had the time of their lives making a terrible movie for US history, which Mr. Suter unfortunately had to watch and grade. Or how 2 of the funniest people I know always greet me with a, "Hi, banana." As I stand here today, recalling each memory I can read upon viewing each of your faces, I know that once we're all gone, I will long to be back in the bungalow walls of VIP, living a happy and what will eventually be viewed as a carefree life with you all. Despite the fact that high school did not turn out to be like the High School Musical series, these past 4 years have been a blast, and it has been my pleasure living through it alongside each of you. And particularly within this ceremony that focuses on our past school days, parting, accompanying, and stepping into the future. Graduation is an enormous accomplishment, but as you know, even though it is not the ultimate goal, it is one step closer to reaching it. There is one giant world out there that we are about to walk into as adults once this commencement concludes, but don't let that reality scare you. As Jim Carrey once said, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about your pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based on either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I challenge you to ask for what you truly want, out loud, unabashedly. No, none of your 11/11 wishes came true from keeping them a secret. Whoever made that rule was just scared someone would steal such an idea and utilize it better than you imagined. The universe has ears and it's listening to you, so speak to it and with it. But remember, always, always be kind. Faculty, I am pleased to say that being at this charter for 4 years now, I have a pretty good scope on at least 80% of you all, which is a big percent considering there are only like 25 of you. It's been a huge pleasure being taught by you. You've raised the bar of good teaching to a much higher place, and we would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts to the back of the moon, but accompanied by the following words. Thank you. Thank you for being there for me when I needed it most. Thank you for caring for my well-being and finding as many ways as possible to fix my problems. Thank you for listening to every word I had to say, especially when you didn't want to. For being patient and kind, for picking your passion and being my teacher, for teaching the moodiest age of human beings, and for being great friends. Most importantly, thank you for being the best role models in the world. There are many of us who wish we could be as outstanding as you. I believe to the day that I die, your names will be floating around in my long-term memory, and the memories of you will never vanish. Hopefully, it happens because I got accepted to follow your Instagram or Facebook page. We'll talk. I'm 18 years old, and so far this VIP experience has been the best and strongest journey of my short lifetime. I have learned so much about myself, people, mathematics, ecology of the tropics, only to travel to the desert. And in this year, I have learned that all of the annoying, cliche, dumb sayings that singers and Pinterest bloggers have been throwing out there for years are actually true. So here, I leave you with a warm later, live, laugh, love, and do what you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianna. I'm here tonight to present the Scholastic Achievement Award honorees in our senior class of 2019. The following students were selected by VIP's staff for embodying excellence in the areas of academics, citizenship, and leadership. Our first recipient will be attending the University of Chicago in the fall, the winner of the Senior English Award, Akwe McDaniels. He'll be attending Sarah Lawrence College this fall, the winner of the Science Award, Ellery Goodsell. Our Mathematics Award winner will be attending Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Our winner is Yuval Shemesh. Come on out. She'll be attending the University of Puget Sound. The winner of the Social Studies Award, Aiden Bicknell. Our next senior will be traveling in Europe, studying with master artists. The winner of the Visual Arts Award, Bjorn Rojas. She'll be attending Bard College, the winner of the Theater Department Award, Mackenzie Foreman. Now, our next senior, the winner of the Speech and Debate Award, couldn't be here tonight because she's busy competing at nationals in Dallas, Texas right now. But let's give a round of applause to Rachel Bean. She'll be attending Sarah Lawrence College in the fall as well. Now, our next student is winning the Foreign Language Award. She'll be attending Soka University of America, Millie Rayner. Heading off to Pasadena City College, the winner of the Music Award, Daniel Levy. Okay. Our next student we've already met. She'll be attending Northern Arizona University, the winner of the Spirit Award, Brianna De Armas. Hello. Being recognized for excellence in academics, she'll be attending Lewis and Clark College, Lara Koishman. Our next student is attending the University of New Mexico and being recognized for excellence in persistence, Judah Gould. Attending UC Berkeley in the fall and being recognized for excellence in leadership is Martine Wolf. And finally, the recipient of our VIP award. She'll be attending Trinity College in Connecticut, Michaela Bove. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for our senior award winners. While our seniors are returning to their seats, I'm happy to introduce our next graduation address speaker. She'll be attending Goucher College in Baltimore, Maryland, Ms. Chloe Byrne.
Hi. I would first like to start by thanking every single teacher and administrator for all their hard work and effort, from handing out school lunches, helping filling out college applications, organizing all senior activities, and preparing for us to enter the world as successful young adults. You have changed our lives, and I speak for all of us when I say thank you. We are eternally grateful. Now, hello, class of 2019. There are many amazing graduation speeches, but the one I believe we all need to hear today is from the critically acclaimed young adult romance novel, Twilight. Please enjoy. When we were 5, they asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up. Our answers were things like astronaut, president, or in my case, princess. When we were 10, they asked again and we answered rock star, cowboy, or in my case, gold medalist. But now that we've grown up, they want a serious answer. Well, how about this? Who the hell knows? This isn't the time to make hard and fast decisions. It's time to make mistakes. Fall in love a lot, get on a train and get stuck somewhere. Major in philosophy, because there's no way to make a career out of that. Change your mind and then change it again, because nothing is permanent. So make as many mistakes as you can. That way, someday, when they ask again what we want to be, we won't have to guess, we'll know. Thank you. I would now like to bring on the stage Martine Wolf, who will be attending UC Berkeley. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. If my hat falls off, just pretend it didn't happen. Doesn't stay on very well, and I did not bring clips. When I was a little kid, those moments of silence just before falling asleep most nights were filled with elaborate fabrications of the future. I envisioned pep rallies, beakers of bubbling chemicals, football players and cheerleaders ruling the school, and calculus equations that are disgustingly long. Obviously, John Hughes films and High School Musical are just stereotypical American fantasies. But at 9 years old, I couldn't imagine anything else. 9 years later, I stand here looking back on my high school experience and literally the only thing even remotely reminiscent of my youthful dreams are the disgustingly long calculus problems. Half of my time spent with these students, teachers, and administrators was in an old church with rabbits running around the yard, our dysfunctional Easter card crossed with a halfway house. It was home, familiar and comforting in ways that we didn't understand until we were forced to leave. This year, we've been transplanted to Chatsworth. My first time at the new campus, I saw a real live tumbleweed and someone riding bareback on a horse. I've literally never seen that in LA otherwise. We're in the 8 bungalows of Chatsworth High that were formerly used for theater with our very own Brad Kopenick and not our very own, but Val Kilmer, who's a fun name to say. It's harder to find parking there than Midtown Manhattan or even a Trader Joe's parking lot. Sometimes we're walking literally miles, and it's not like we're greeted by all the yummy snacks there. It's incredibly difficult to rebuild the culture that we had on Friar Street. The move has been tough on students, and so tough that sometimes we forget how hard it's been on the teachers and staff as well. The truth is, we all came back to this community for a reason. And that's because Mr. Horn not only made every single moment of each day run like a champ, but he even played handball like a champ, even though I did beat him. Mr. Hall, who infuses each eclectic, fist-thumping lesson with poetry, soul, and curiosity, and Miss Yee, who landed here in the middle of the year, having to contend with the kids who are very traumatized by all the staff changes. Mr. Suter doesn't just ask what the history book says, but why it matters, along with Mr. Hansen, who not only teaches economics, but personal accountability. It's because Myra and Magali show up in the wee hours of every morning to open the doors for us, to set up the lunches for us, and to keep track of us. Stephanie, who's the cheerleader of the century and the kindest friend ever. Usha, who's the most loved sheriff in town and who does so many things. I don't think most kids even know what she does, but thank her anyway. Miss Wilbert, who has tirelessly organized all the senior events. AP Calculus. She's also the AP Calculus teacher, AP Statistics teacher, and head student council, along with being our assistant principal. And Miss Kim and Miss Shin for being as kind as humanly possible, as well as delivering inspired math instruction to kids who are mostly born afraid of the subject matter. Anne, who changed more lives than anyone I can imagine through sending us all to college. Mr. Lampert, who has literally made our school famous out in the world with his speech and debate and mock trial leadership. Chuck, who single-handedly created our music lab, including salvaging the stage from our Friar Street campus, bringing all of his own equipment and still rocking out with the students. Miss Patterson, who has spent many nights teaching theater performances with literally $0 to spend on anything. Addie Guzman's quiet and quick-witted humor delivered alongside careful and constant upkeep of our individual records. Miss Cross and Mr. Riano for taking care of the myriad of daily needs of so many of us, and who take unimaginable abuse from various educational agencies. Miss Rainier, who magically turns out a yearbook with no budget, as well as the incredible vibrancy of creative expression that everybody deserves. Dr. Foldy and Mr. McNish, who came from the oceans, the jungles, the Serengeti, and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory to bring us both dead animals to dissect and inspiration. And Mr. Cruz, who dealt with all of our students teaching us a second language when we arguably can't even speak our first. Thank you, teachers and staff, sincerely. We all couldn't have done it without you. We wouldn't have even had a school without you, so let's put that in context. The main thing that this school taught me is to seek out what you love. The truth is, a lot of high school is playing the game, doing a PowerPoint that may feel pointless, taking a trivial test, or writing some formulaic essay about why this school in Connecticut is your first choice, and then sending it off to another school and just changing the name. Our educational system expects teachers to somehow crystallize what seems intangible, to prove that we're absorbing the district standards, and in this climate, it's difficult to maintain our thirst for knowledge. But the students at this school manage to cultivate their hunger for education in all ways. They engulf themselves in passion, whether it be sculpture, poetry, mountain biking, photography, music production, painting, astrology, basketball, or knowing exactly what's going on underneath the hood of their car. I remember when I first got to this school, and I was concerned. I was used to seeing kids clamoring over each other to get their good grades and get in the good graces of their teachers. Even though every second they spent outside of the classroom, their aura of interest melted to reveal apathy. But at VIP, nobody pretends to love economics for a pat on the head and a possible grade boost. But everyone wears their passion like a scent, drifting around them, its presence touching everything they do. And if their passion is basketball, you know what type of scent I'm talking about. I know most of the grads today are wearing crazy cool outfits under their gowns. I know most of them have crazy cool thoughts swirling in their heads under those caps. And that wouldn't be possible at another school with other teachers. Grads, as you all go out into this world, don't lose the fire of individuality that you've cultivated here. Thank you. Now I'm going to introduce Aquay McDaniels, attending the University of Chicago.
I'm not as tall as Martine. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again for this wonderful celebration. Our next speaker tonight is arguably one of the most admired members of our school's community. A friend to all and an especially gifted listener, he works hard to cultivate safe spaces for all students. In his English classes, I've read some of the greatest literary works out there, such as Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, or William Faulkner's Absalom, Absalom, which I did not read. To quote Tony Stark from Iron Man, one of our presenters' favorite Marvel heroes, "Following's not really my style." This presenter's English class has always erred on the side of the unconventional, while his love for the written has encouraged students to challenge themselves and learn how to use writing to express their thoughts and perspectives. When I first joined this community, I remember feeling especially welcomed in his class, and as I opened up to him, I came to understand how caring and attentive he is about the world around him. I also came to understand that he has a very, very trustworthy pair of ears and definitely knows more of the school's gossip than I do. On behalf of our graduating class, I think I can say that it's been an honor and a pleasure to have him as our teacher. We thank him for everything that he does. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for David Hall.
Okay, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. God, that was beautiful, Aquay. Thank you. You really can't see anything, can you? All right. Administration of Valley International Preparatory High School, faculty, staff, parents, and guardians, those who are here in body as well as spirit, distinguished guests, friends, Romans, countrymen, I've had the pleasure, the honor, and the privilege of working side by side and shoulder to shoulder with the members of this year's graduating class. And this evening, I have the pleasure, honor, and privilege of addressing this class as keynote speaker. So real talk, kids, this is the last time I get to give you a lecture, so put your phones away and listen. And we've been through a lot of transitions together, different school names, different school locations, different Friday schedules. Yeah, get over it. And this ceremony is about the grandest tradition of all. High school seniors become high school graduates. People like me, who have lived quite a few years and gathered some experience, are supposed to give people like you, who are just starting out, some advice to help you with your new life. When it came to finding some advice to give you, I was, frankly, kind of stuck. We've had some truly interesting conversations and spilled some interesting tea these past years, but I struggled to find that piece of wisdom that you would always remember. So I thought I would go back to what I was told at my high school graduation, which was roughly 1,000,000 years ago, or 1983. A lot of cool things came from that year. Believe it or not, it was the very first cell phone. Michael Jackson's Thriller came out with the moonwalk. The very first space shuttle flight. The first woman in space, Sally Ride. Guion Bluford was the first black man in space. Vanessa Williams was the first black Miss America. Our Star Wars movie was Return of the Jedi. It was the first year they had Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday. The very first minivans, I know. The first McNuggets, which I think they still serve. And the 76ers beat the Lakers for the NBA champion. Oh, sorry. I meant to take that part out, sorry. But the one thing that did not come from them was advice from my high school graduation, because to this day, I don't know who gave the speech or what they said. Yeah, so that was a bust. And so I thought about the wisdom that had been offered these past years from our beloved staff. Mr. Horn always tells you can probably say this with me, early is on time is late, there you go. Or Anne explaining, this is gold, parking is not a birthright. Yes, I love that. Or Usha reminding us that perception is truth, which is, yes, it is. I mean, all these things are good to keep in mind, but that wisdom belonged to them. My task was to find something that I could give you to remember. And then it hit me. I remember something that I've told each and every one of you since the first days we met, whether you've been here all 4 years or you just transferred in last semester, whether you had me in class before we met or not, a piece of advice that holds up now and will hold up forever, which is watch your language. Now, for the uninitiated, there are variations of this theme. One is basically like, hey, language. The more subtle, whoa, wait, what did you just say? The overtop sarcastic, you kiss your mom with that mouth? Or my personal favorite, oh, hey, everybody, we got a big-time adult in the room. Hey, you can pay my mortgage now. Okay, so seniors, okay, because you can't do anything without some interaction or activity in my class. Here we go. You're going to be me, and I'm going to be you. So I'm going to walk in, I'm going to say something. It'll be a little bit of a swear. It's family-oriented, don't worry about it. And then you give, tell the crowd, react as I would. Cool? All right, so something like, hey, Mr. Hall, turn up the heat in here. It's cold as hell. You would, there you go. Every time, ask them, every single time. So then the question always becomes, well, why did this man make such a big deal out of swearing? So I never really explained this, and so the tea spread. I didn't like swearing because I'm Christian, which is true, but that's not the whole picture. And some people said I never swore, which isn't the case. I mean, come on, I teach high school English, for God's sake. Some even speculated that I just wanted some reason to make fun of kids, which is crazy because they provided me with more than enough material to roast them all the time. So these are all good reasons, all good guesses, but the real reason I kept after you all these years to watch your language is that language is power, great, great power. And with great power comes great responsibility. So as the old story goes, God said 4 little words that started the whole of creation. Let there be light. And the light was good. It was spoken light. It was spoken goodness. And it was so powerful that God had to rest. Now, if you follow the rest of the story, you see God creates and he takes a break. He makes things like elephants in Cleveland, Ohio, and water and moccasins and water moccasins, which aren't water or moccasins, but anyway, and all of it. He makes these things, all the designing and planning and collecting the raw material and so on. It all has to be hard work, but the hardest work was those 4 words, speaking those 4 words and then creation. And so I think about those 4 words. I think about 4 words that created you. And think about it. The idea of freshmen with your gangly awkwardness, then you became sophomores with your shenanigans, and juniors with your super seriousness, and now senior with your excitement for and fear of the future. 4 words with such heavy meaning. Now, language's creation is not limited to the divine. You have it in your words as well. So we're going to talk about those legacy letters. As our first year of VIPHS glued to a close, I wanted to start a tradition that would carry on year after year, and I came up with the idea of the legacy letter for seniors. Each senior wrote letters to the school reflecting on what we did well and what we didn't do so well. These letters were both a blessing and a curse, as you can imagine. We heard some hard words. We had to face some difficult things that we'd rather not. I mean, you win some, you lose some. But in every case, students molded their image of VIPHS, our faculty, our support, and their experience into some truly beautiful language. Masha, where are you? Can you raise your hand or clap or something? Okay. So I read hers, and then she asked for a citation since I'm going to use a bit of it. So here's something that she wrote. Imagining not walking the hallways or navigating the bungalows of Chatsworth campus, running into my classmates and teachers cracking jokes, and attending VIP events as well as winter spring formals provokes a feeling of loss and melancholy. This is it. However, it is a known fact that the time to break up with high school and mourn the loss of a long-term relationship is inevitable. What? Break up. Break up is the word of creation. Now, some call this ceremony just graduation, which connotes speeches like this one. A sprinkle of pomp, a dash of circumstance, a bit of generic staleness. Graduation means that anybody in here could have gone through what you've gone through and walk across the stage. But when we say breakup, Masha says breakup, it's something completely different. Breakup creates a love affair. Some ups, some downs, some days of walking on sunshine, some days of slogging through the mire, but we had each other, we had each other's backs, and like first loves, we knew it wouldn't last. Breakup means you hold the good times in your heart, you find a way to forgive the bad, and you move on. See, just one word, and it changes the entire meaning of the experience, and that's your experience. So beautiful. That, my friends, is power. So one last thought. If you remember the ending of Absalom, thanks, Aquay. If you remember the ending of Absalom, we find that the entire 300-page sentence that was the story of the Coldfields and Compsons and Thomas Septon was being told by Quentin Compson, a griot of sorts who held the family stories in his heart. And they played with time and events and made up stuff just because, but it's the last lines that are the kick. After going on about how black people are going to take over the world in the future, it's a thing, anyway. His roommate asked Quentin why he hated the South so much, and Quentin is shocked. He thought he loved the South. That's where he came from. He thought he loved the South, but, and here it comes, his words betrayed him. The language he used created a South that he hated. That's what came out of his mouth, and that's what his roommate believed. So you're going to have the same opportunity. It might be your roommate or someone at a party trying to chat you up or some lame icebreaker for a class. Someone will ask you about this place and its people, your time here, how you're feeling, what you hope to accomplish with your time here on earth. And the words out of your mouth will create realities, past, present, and future. The question is, what realities will you create? All of this is a long-winded way of saying, if I'm saying anything at all, is that language is amazing, volatile, and quite dangerous. This is why you must handle every single word with care. This is why I was always on you to watch your language. Very proud of you all. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. I love you 3,000. Thank you.
I think a few students love you, Mr. Hall. All right, so my name is Stephanie Riley. I'm the school counselor. And with that, I get to say, I hereby certify that you seniors sitting before all of us here today have successfully completed the graduation requirements set forth by the California Department of Education and our very own charter. Congratulations to you guys all. I'm so proud of you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the presentation of diplomas, please take a moment and turn to the back cover of your programs. Listed there is information on where you can get photographs of today's event in about 2 weeks' time. We have two wonderful professional photographers here with us this evening to capture tonight's ceremony, and believe us, their photographs will be better than the ones taken by dimly lit, shaky iPhones. So at this point, we do ask you to remain in your seats for this portion of the evening. So our first diploma of the evening, let's get this started. Mr. Gabriel Anderson. Congratulations. Julian Anderson. Astrid Bacchus. Ron Bassan. As mentioned earlier, she couldn't be with us, but let's give a round of applause for Rachel Bean. Next up, Aiden Bicknell. Harris Borkhardt. Michaela Bove. Calissa Bradley. Devin Bird. Chloe Byrne. Zachary Camino. Justin Chavez. Sophia Christoffi. Charles Christopher. Daisy Cole. Elraya Cook. Oliver Stebor. Olivia Dalton. Ben Danton. Brianna De Armas. Lauren Diaz. Andrew Diaz. Antonio DeSazio. Megan Ehrenberg. Spencer Ehrenberg. Joseph Vines. Mackenzie Foreman. Juliana Gazal. Liam Gershon. Tess Goldstone. Ellery Goodsell. Judah Gould. Edward Harney. Keel Ireland. Truman Jackson. Ivy Johnson. Jessica Kaufman. Congratulations. Lara Koishman. Jessica Kramer. Brandon Landau. Daniel Levy. Ian Marshall. Congratulations. David Mazenberg. Aquay McDaniels. Skylar McGann. Armia Metias. Zoe Morris. Now, like Rachel Bean, this next senior couldn't be here because he's also competing at Nationals in Dallas. Give a round of applause to Miles Morton. Our next senior who is here, Michael Naziri. Isabella Nelson. Isabel O'Donovan. Jacob Piasecki. Sophia Rains. Millie Rayner. Jake Redmond. Xander Rodriguez. Bjorn Rojas. Peter Salem. Yuval Shemesh. Jennifer Slaneker. Ethan Smilavisi. Masha Tunick. Joseph Valenza. Nicole Waldman. Stevie Werner. Sophia Witkotsky Fields. Martine Wolf. And Wilbur Zaldivar. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we end our evening, please make sure to keep the aisles clear while our graduates head out as new graduates of Valley International Prep High School. So seniors, could you rise for me? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your graduating class of 2019.